I remember when I was talking once with my team when I was customer, and I got one scene of Game of Thrones, and the guy was in the upper hall of the wall of there, and then the guard say, teaching the other ones, so you need to watch. And if harmful is coming, so it's your job. And then what I do next? I don't know. It's your job to watch the enemies. So what I do next? So they sometimes they don't know the next step, or they are not prepared to do the next step. Yeah.
I'm going to use your analogy, if you don't mind. I'll borrow that analogy for one more thing. I think if you ask, and I have asked organizations, what's your number one problem? I've asked security teams, what's your number one problem? And they say, we don't have enough people. Right? That's usually the number one problem.
You're correct.
And I've tested this theory, by the way. I asked an organization that had only 5 employees, and they said they don't have enough people. Now, you could think, okay, that kind of makes sense. Then I asked another organization that has 900 security employees, and they said we don't have enough people. I thought, wow, you don't have enough employees? So then I got to thinking, okay, why don't you have enough employees? I'm going to go back to your analogy of the guard. Because every single person that's trying to get through the door, think of them as actual events generated by all the security tools that everybody owns. Every single event that comes in, you have to not think, is it allowed? Is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it a true positive or a bad, or a false positive? So you have to, as a security team, not only allow the good traffic in, but also keep the bad traffic out. You have to do both simultaneously. That makes your job really hard. Because you could argue life of a cybersecurity person is actually fairly easy. Just turn everything off. Like just put it on the highest alert.
No events. No problems.
0 events, no problem. And now your organization cannot do business. Right? But the balance that it's just striking the balance is where the biggest problem arises. How do I let the good stuff through? So most people actually, interestingly enough, again, based on my conversations with customers, most people are under-provisioned intentionally because they're afraid. Sometimes they're more afraid of blocking good traffic than they are of blocking of losing bad traffic, for example. Right? So think of it this way. The better way to describe it is if I, in my security tools, have very strict countermeasures, I'm afraid a legitimate service is going to get blocked and I cannot do business. And that induces a lot more fear than sometimes just being able to let a bad actor through.